example. Yeah, not sure why it's doing that. Well, anyways, that's how you do that. God dang it, I gotta film it again. Because it's doing something stupid. I quit this place. I'm done. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a great time of before you saw. I hope you guys are doing great. That's really all I want to know. Moving on. This here is part 2 of the Sony Vegas Pro 11 tutorial. Let's get started. We're going to jump right into the timeline. Like I said in the last video, I really want to stress the awesomeness of this particular timeline. Let's kind of jump in and get you a good start going on. So, we've got here, you can press this effects button and that's going to adjust every one of the effects on the entire layer of your timeline. Just like Photoshop, Sony Vegas takes these and makes layers. So you got to keep in mind, if this layer's on top, it's going to be above that layer. I'm going to show you guys how to add text files, how to add a background to those text files. I'm also going to show you just quick little things you can do with the text in order to make a kind of a beginning text scene, which I'm going to do. And then I'm going to cover some of the effects over in the viewing window over here and kind of give you guys a runaround on one of the buttons that I use. And then in the last video, I'm going to give you as much information as I can, detailed, and I'm probably planning on just editing a short clip right there for you guys to see. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I will not answer them. I will ignore them as much as I can, and then realize that I have to answer them or that's rude. Also, if you like what you see, good. If you don't, I dare you. Hit the don't like button. I dare you. Go for it. Just kidding. I mean, you can if you want, but I don't care. I mean, I care. Never mind. Okay, you guys are talking way too much. We're trying to move on here. So we've got the Sony Vegas open. Like I said, press this beautiful button over here, and that is going to allow you to adjust the settings for that entire layer. And once again, the same thing applies to your audio layer. Okay, so we have our audio layer here. That's probably going to be really loud. That's already really loud. So there's that audio track. Now if we want to adjust any settings in the audio for the entire audio track, so let's say that this is the only thing going to be playing through the entire video, that's when this is acceptable. Because once you adjust these settings, it's going to adjust it for every bit of audio that hits this area. Like I said in the last video, if you want to adjust an individual piece of audio, text, or video file, then you would press your effects button there. Moving on from that, so I'm going to show you guys how to make a text file here, just because I kind of want to jump into that before I move into anything else, because text is kind of important, especially if you're using this as your primary editing system. Go ahead and go to one of your video layers, right click that baby, press Insert Text Media. Okay, press that button there. That is going to bring up every little bit of control you've got on your text. You can also move your text around in the window viewer here. You can resize it there as well and get it to the size that you need. And you can highlight that baby there. Change your font to whatever you want. I'm going impact because I like to make an impact on people. Then you can change the color to whatever you want. Let's say I want a bright red for no reason at all because that's illogical. Jump in, you got yourself a bright red. Okay, so we're going to go over some things here. Let's go ahead and jump over to the video media area here and let my computer be as slow as it can. Well, there you go. You could do it. This is only my third time. Thank you. Okay. So you've got the video over here. Then as you can see, it looks oversaturated, and that's because I filmed this 3 times. This is time number 3. I already went over all this stuff with you guys, but you don't know because you weren't here. I showed the video, and I applied some brightness and contrast to show that button there for the entire timeline. To remove an effect, see how you got your event thing here? Boom. Remove selected plugin. Kabang. Kapow. Removed. You've got one. There we go. Okay, I thought. Alright, that's good. So let's say that we want this text to be over our video. All you've got to do is place it on top of the video, and that sample text will play on top of the video like so. You've also got a few things you can do here. Let's say you want that sample text to punch in. I'm going to show you how to do that a nice and simple way. Go ahead, jump in. This is, like I said in the last video, where you're going to be able to kind of do some manual movements here. So you've got a timeline represented here. You want to take this cursor, move it all the way to the end of the represented timeline. Then make sure that these 2 buttons are clicked. If you don't, let's say you click that one, it's going to adjust just that and kind of let you see what that does. With them both selected, it will allow me to delete that keyframe. If you want to delete a keyframe, right click, delete. Make sure those 2 are selected here. The aspect ratio adjusted here. This is just going to, I don't know if it's going to show it. I guess it won't. Once you hit into the sample text here, this is kind of the viewing angle. It's kind of what you're going to be able to view. Go ahead and restore that. Set that back to default. Now we've got them both selected. We're going to go ahead and just do a mild little punch in there. Right click your keyframe. Smooth that baby out. Make sure to smooth this one out too. That's going to allow it to look nice and professional. So we've got our punch in. Slowly punches in. You can also have this over your over like a solid, which I'll show you in a minute what that is. You can over, you know, like a background color or something like that. Whatever your little heart desires. So, let's go ahead and say that we want to have a nice fade in for this text, and it's going to be all by itself. It's the title of our thing. We want it to fade in. Go over here to the corner, and as you can see, you can also adjust your opacity. So, another example, let's say that that is on top, and you want to adjust the opacity. Drop that down, and it tells you kind of what the percentage will be. You can also, as it fades in, this white line represents its opacity. It manually puts the opacity in there. Boom, fades in. So that is also how you do a fade in. You can also go up, right click, and you can go to fade type, and you can adjust the different fade types. When you're on a video, it allows you to have a little bit more movement room on the fade type. Apparently not. Okay, good. I guess it doesn't. I'm an idiot. So we've got that faded in. You know, you've got your text or whatever you have that you like to have. Sony Vegas, here we go. Boom, Sony Vegas, movie style. In a world where Sony Vegas is really cool. So we've got Sony Vegas. Also, let's say that we resize that. When you got a text file, you can open up the editing area for that particular text area. Press on that little film icon. Highlight that baby. Change that size to 16. Then we can move it. And let's say we want it to sit right here. And shebang, it sits there the whole time. It's a good lower thirds. You know, makes developing lower thirds kind of easy. You can even make it a little movie thing going on here. Let's say that we're like right here in the timeline, and we want it to move that way and punch in there. Do that. Make that smooth, not linear. That's stupid. There we go. Then it fades in. Sony Vegas. There you go. Quick little you know, animation, you know, nothing complicated. Sony Vegas is not a complicated program. There you go. Now, let's go ahead and move on from that. I want to make sure that you understand what split is. If you press S on your keyboard, it's going to allow you to split. This separates these two videos into two separate entities. It's like making a video baby, pretty much. So you've got your video baby over here on the right. You can do whatever you want with that video baby, hopefully something appropriate. Add an effect, whatever you like. Do your thing, edit your video, find your thing. Okay, another thing that I'd like to go over before I conclude this video, I would like to kind of go over some of these buttons here, let you know, and I'm going to quickly go over them, and then a few of the buttons up here. So we've got our video. Let's say that we add some drastic stuff to this. Okay, maybe we'll do some like film effects, and some light rays. Yeah, cool, right? Go over to the unclick them light rays so that we can see what this film effect does. Add some grain, some tint, make it look vintage, old, because that's exactly what old footage looks like. Go over to them there light rays, click that arrow key, and click over to that. This is an effect you can kind of add, or you can adjust where the pinpoint axis is, the sensitivity, and your strength. You can adjust there. Yeah, see? That makes it totally cool. See, now the video looks great. I mean, it's really exactly dream sequence. There you go. Dream sequence. Then you can go in there. You can keyframe this if you click the animate button. Boom. Go there. Comes from over there. There you go. Animated. See, it starts at the beginning over there. Oops, didn't mean to highlight there. And that little thing, it moves over there. It's quite cool. It really is. So if we move on over here, we've got the rest of our information. So we've got some buttons up here. Sorry. Press this button. This is going to allow you to preview your footage full screen. Mine goes to my monitor to my right. Yours, if you've got a single monitor, will probably pop up right in front of you, and then you can press play, press your space button, and escape to get out of that. So let me go ahead and get out of that. Move on back over here. So we've got all our effects on this, and we want to kind of see, you know, what it used to look like, you know, back in the old days. This is going to let you see what the original footage looks like while still seeing your effect, so you can kind of see, you know, the diverse sides. This button here is going to allow you to see some of your overlays. You've got your safe areas, you've got a grid which will help you line up stuff and kind of help you keep your things centered. And like I said, the safe areas, this is just generic safe areas, going to let you see where you should put your titles at, so they're not falling off the screen when they are uploaded. It's going to let you see kind of your reds. There you go. In this shot, we got some reds going on. And a bunch of other things, but like I said, safe areas is typically what I leave it default on. That way when I'm doing my text, that I can see it beautifully. Moving on over here to the left, we've got, like I went over, the import media. You've got your save buttons here. You've got your control and paste. It just shows you if you are control C. If you have it copied, it shows you that you got it copied. Go over here, control V, you can paste it like that. One cool thing about Sony Vegas is, let's say that I've got these split. If I do a control all and move them babies, they move consecutively. I can move this by itself. One more thing to go over that I totally forgot about because I've done this 3 times. I want to make sure you guys know what this is. When you're editing and you need to separate your video with your audio, if you just press U on your keyboard, that's going to allow you to separate your video and the audio. That's going to help when, let's say, that you want to punch in on something. You can go ahead and punch in on that. You can kind of preview it that way. That's kind of how I do it. Like, let's say that I want something to go into my main timeline, and I keep highlighting. I kind of want to cut to that. Then I can split that baby out of there. Drop that in the hole. There you go. That way, if it's dropped in, I can crossfade like that. And do another crossfade over there. adjust my crossfade however I want, blah blah blah. So that's cool. Also, if you select all these, don't select that one, you can create a sync link with those, and those will always be connected, which is really good when you are editing audio and you've got external audio that you need to match up with your primary source. Once you match it up, you can delete the default audio, that your scratch audio that you had, and you can sync this audio with that particular clip. That way they are always connected, and you don't have to keep moving it. Like, let's say that one's with that one, and I'm trying to move it. Boom. So that is pretty much it. If you've got any questions... Oh, got to go over snapping. So, when you go to move something, let's say you've got another video clip, and you want to move it. See that blue line that happens in between the clips? That's snapping, okay? And it's good when you're doing that, but let's say that I'm adjusting audio, and I need to line up my audio sequences. It's going to make it a lot harder when I've got multiple clips if snapping is enabled. So I usually turn that off while I'm syncing my audio, and then always remember to turn it back on because it really helps to line up everything. So that's it, guys. If you got any questions, post them in the comments. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button because that tells me that you enjoyed it. If you didn't like it, I don't care. I don't know you, and you don't know me, so I mean, you could. There's no way you could possibly not like this video. It's great. Alright, it's like high quality stuff over here. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great Christmas. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. No, I said bye. Yeah. Go ahead. Shut it off there. Yeah, no. Control. Okay. Yeah. Alright. There you go.